Frieren Beyond Journey's End is a series I didn't really know I was missing. I'm quick to point out poor pacing, wasted moments, or missed opportunities in a story. But despite Frieren's very slow pace, I found I didn't have much in the way of complaints. Rather, I was eager to praise the show. Pacing and storytelling is a delicate balance. There isn't necessarily a right way to do it. Some stories are fast, and others are slow. On both extremes, there's examples of fantastic stories. But generally, one wants to progress the plot at a steady pace, giving details where they can and making sure they don't take their readers down too many rabbit holes lest they threaten losing their attention. It becomes a rhythm, a dance, if you will, leading up to a climax. The notes string together to create a beautiful piece that may quicken as time goes on, until it eventually winds down, slowing to its inevitable end. This style of writing, when done properly, rewards the audience with a sense of progression towards a story and characters, making it even more satisfying as they shift onto their next story beat. Many incredible stories are like this, so much so that many storytellers will take this style as law, making sure that every moment they have the audience's attention somehow progresses the plot or characters in some major way. And while this type of story can be fun, at times it can be, frankly, exhausting. Like, we the audience don't have the chance to actually sit and breathe with the story. But indulging in immense methodical thinking, explaining each minute detail, or grinding the progression of the plot to a halt can drive an audience down and be downright boring at times. But what if slow storytelling was the point? Highlighting everything, including their triumphs, failures, mundane moments, sorrows, joys, and personal growth on an equal playing field. One not distinguished amongst the rest. Frieren takes on the slow pacing intentionally, but with such genuine love for the series, coupled with intelligent writing, excellent animation, and a deep understanding of human nature and interactions. I couldn't help but love this series, man! It's practically a love letter to classic fairy tales. It's filled with legends, demons, heroes, magic, elves, dwarves, kingdoms, dragons, and so much more. The trope of the Demon King threatening the world is on full display, uniting a small band of characters from different backgrounds to fell him. Except, this time, the series begins at the end of the adventure. A 10-year-long journey that has come to an end. An era of peace has begun. The band return to their kingdom, receiving their reward. A party is thrown and they talk about everything they went through and how much this journey impacted their life. As they plan to disband, their journey is over, and it was a monumental event for all of them. That is, except for Frieren. As an elf capable of living for thousands of years, this was but a mere 10-year adventure for her. A moment in time. Why had this impacted these people so much? After all, she would live for thousands of years. She would blink, and they would be gone. The series isn't about defeating some great evil and returning peace, but rather a character study on Frieren. Her story, growth, views of the world, and adventures in it ranging from mundane tasks such as planting flowers to perilous expeditions like conquering dungeons. And it's a show about time. It doesn't try and draw you in with these flashy fights, powers, or larger-than-life characters, and while it does have some of those aspects, it's almost as if it's hidden in the series. If I had to describe Frieren Beyond Journey's End, I would call it beautifully reserved. It takes its time to tell the things it wants to tell, like an old man recounting his amazing childhood adventures in great detail to his grandchildren. Every element of this story is handled with such genuine care and thought. You can feel the love the author has for this creation. Characters are grounded and flawed, mingled in with personal motivations, dreams, and goals. They struggle, overcome, and live the best life they can while building relationships with those around them. While so many shows will use the tried and true method of placing characters into dire situations to draw out their thoughts, emotions, and character, Frieren many times will do the exact opposite, allowing for the quiet moments to shine through. We learn so much about characters through them just interacting while traveling. Moments when they're helping a merchant load supplies, cleaning up old wreckage, shopping, or going out to eat. It's these instances which stories usually gloss over that become special. And they feel so relatable because most of us have had these special mundane moments. A late night drive with someone you're close to, listening to your favorite music. deep night talks over the phone with a romantic interest, family nights with food, binging a TV show or playing games with the boys, and so much more. We all have something like this that we look back on fondly. It may even be the most precious memory we have. This series understands that it's sometimes the most mundane moments in life that are the most important, and it doesn't display this by shoving it in our face, but simply allowing it to be mundane and play out just as it would if it were one of us. This capture of human nature is complemented by how real the world feels around them. Locations are rich and varying, filled to the brim with differing people, layouts, culture, weather, and customs. We see castles boasting great wealth and power, sea villages filled with fishermen and markets, small towns in the mountains with farmers, cabins covered in a blanket of snow, military bases in a wide plain standing as an opposition to a great enemy, and so much more. These places feel lived in, like they have an existence outside of just the screen. Characters constantly interact with the setting, from simple things like dressing to match their environment and eating unique food, to approaching situations completely differently due to their customs, or utilizing their surroundings in a battle that would have not been possible if they had been elsewhere, to completely changing plans because they found something interesting or were unable to move forward because of bad weather. It's so realistic. This world is expansive, making you excited to discover more as the author slowly peels back layer after layer, each deeper than the last with more to tell. You begin to appreciate how much the series takes its time, because it shows you so much more with the level of mystical wonder I crave from other series. Within those deep layers, we also find the magic system. When first introduced, this system was incredibly reserved. We really didn't get a huge exposition dump or any sort of explanation on how magic worked. And I was confused because at the offset, it seemed so laughably simple. A magic battle with our main characters usually consisted of 3 spells, all of which are boring: Flight, Magic Berry, and Magic Blast. Over and over and over. When I was a few episodes into the show, I would always say everything's amazing, except the magic system. It was frustrating to me. A large part of this series is dedicated to Frieren traveling around, discovering new spells, and finding grimoires. Yet we knew practically nothing about the frickin' magic system. But little by little, we begin to see more. Magic users who had unique magic, spells never seen before, explanations as to how magic works, magic development, and then the magic exam arc began. All my complaints fell face first so hard I felt like a fool. I was played like a fiddle for somehow believing that this magic system in this complex world was somehow simple or boring. We go from this, which is still pretty cool, albeit a bit plain, to this. Sweet mother of mercy, this is freaking awesome! This arc just takes off the gloves and goes absolutely crazy, showcasing how awesome, beautiful, and deep the magic system of this world is. We see countless unique and amazing spells from various mages ranging in size, abilities, and utilization. We witness magic research, development, experimentation, and more. We discover at the core of magic is imagination. Some will rationalize within themselves their abilities based on their magic power and operate according to the rules which they understand. Others go frick it and go based purely off feeling, ignoring all known rules and letting their imagination run free to reach their potential. Each and every spell feels unique and special, having a place where it's able to shine. Coupled with that, each person's magic in some way gives us a deeper outlook into how the person thinks, since their magic is directly tied with how they see the world. A person who dislikes killing uses spells designed to incapacitate and trap. Those who are indifferent to it wield deadly spells that slash people to pieces. Fern, who is logical, steady, and reserved, utilizes only the most basic spells to their fullest potential, avoiding anything flashy or unneeded. And Frieren, who has studied magic for hundreds, if not thousands of years, showcases reality-bending spells that terrify other mages. This show actually allows magic to be magical, which is something I had no idea I was missing. Episode by episode, layers of this magic system are revealed, and rather than feeling like the author somehow shoehorned in these new ideas, it's like it's there from the start and we're discovering it piece by piece. And everything begins from Frieren. While having an elf in a fantasy story is far from unique, having them at front and center is. Seeing the way an elf, a nearly immortal being, views life. Human lives to Frieren are like a flower. They bloom one day and the next are gone. Time so short that connecting with them seems almost trivial. After all, if she tries to visit after a short 80 years, they'll probably be gone. It's hard for us to grasp this outlook on life. After all, 80 years is basically our entire lifetime. It isn't a short moment for us. Our life is the longest thing we'll ever do in this world. We witness the world change around us so quickly, and we change just as fast with it. We grow taller, our voice changes, the things we enjoy change, we gain wisdom, hopefully, and even our relationships shift. Time is one of the greatest catalysts for change that we can ever experience in this life. But to Frieren, time is something she has an abundance of. Does it really matter if she wastes a decade or 3 on a mundane task? In a single episode, we might see her take on a quest of research and buy some tools from a middle-aged merchant, only for her to return later that episode and the merchant to be an old man with little time left. And she remains unchanged. Time unable to touch her. This difference causes her to be mainly indifferent to the people around her. She remains reserved and even a little cold. But not even she can stay like this forever. As short as human lives are, one by one they begin making impacts on her, changing her. And when they're gone, she wishes she would have known them better. The show that at first jumped years ahead at a time suddenly slows down. Frieren, for the first time, genuinely looks at the people around her, and slowly, ever so slowly, begins to change. Frieren Beyond Journey's End is a story that reminds us to take in the small moments. Its slow and detailed pacing is a reminder for us to slow down and enjoy the people around us, no matter how long they're in our lives for. Unlike Frieren, our time here is finite and fleeting. A day will come when each of us dies, but it is our choice what to do with the time that has been given to us, whether long or short. Will we enjoy what has been given to us, or live ignorantly to those around us? Thanks for sticking around until the end. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I respond to all of them. If you like this content, consider subscribing and following me on Instagram and TikTok. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'll see you next time.